Today we're talking about a house known as Willow's Weep House. This house, everyone, was unbelievably strange, eerie, and terrifying at the same time. Everyone who entered it eventually came out, if they were lucky. But did they leave safely? No. Many of them didn't just leave the house, they left life itself. So what is the story of this house? Why couldn't anyone live in it or stay there for long? Did anyone ever uncover the secret behind what was happening? That's exactly what we'll explore in today's story. But before we go deeper, keep one thing in mind. This story is filled with rumors, contradictions, and unanswered questions. There are places in this world where you feel like evil itself lives there. Strange events happen, things that don't make sense. When something terrifying happens in a location, people usually say, "This place holds negative energy. This place is cursed. There's an evil spirit here." That's the kind of stories we hear in the West. And today, I brought you a house that carries all those descriptions. A house known in America as one of the most evil and terrifying homes. A place connected to mysterious deaths, disturbing activity, and unsettling events we'll uncover step by step. The house is called Willow's Weep, and it's located in the state of Indiana, USA. If we go back in time, long before the house was built, this area was originally home to Native Americans. There were many battles in this region between the native population and settlers. The house itself was built in 1890. It was an old, historic mansion, built by a man named J.C. Sykes, and it was called Willow's Weep because of the huge willow tree that stood near the house. But the design of the house was unusual. People said its shape resembled an inverted cross, and its front faced east. Was that a coincidence or intentional? No one knows for sure. Some said houses like that were common at the time, and the design meant nothing. Others claimed JC was religious, so the inverted cross story didn't make sense. But the most disturbing rumor was this. They said the house was built on top of an old native burial ground, and once people heard that, they began saying, "Of course it's cursed. Of course it's going to be haunted. Enough that it's built on graves." Some even said the house was built to attract evil, or to trap dark spirits inside it, because the inverted cross, if you know the symbol, is often associated with satanic rituals and anti-Christian symbolism. I'm mentioning all of this so you understand what people believed before we enter the real events. J.C. lived in the house with his wife Elizabeth. They built their life there. They had a son named Enoch, and there were rumors that Enoch had children with a neighbor named Mary Ann Beatty. Keep this detail in mind, because we'll come back to it later. For years, the family lived normally, until JC grew old. One day, he went out to feed the pigs. He had a pig farm with a large number of pigs, but JC never came back. What happened? JC slipped and fell into the pig pen. There were around 200 pigs. He was old, injured, and couldn't get back up. And the pigs were hungry, so they attacked him, and they began eating him alive. When Elizabeth went looking for him, she reached the pen and saw pigs gathered around something. When she got closer, she found her husband. A horrific scene, so brutal and violent that her mind couldn't handle it. Elizabeth completely broke down. She was admitted into a psychiatric hospital. After JC died and Elizabeth was hospitalized, the house was inherited by their son Enoch. As soon as he took ownership, he brought the neighbor Mary Ann and her children to live with him in the house. And that made people believe the rumor even more, that he may have had children with her. Later, Elizabeth's condition improved. She left the hospital and returned to the house to live with Enoch and the neighbor family. But Elizabeth didn't live long after that. She passed away, and shortly after her death, Enoch also died. Suddenly, a brain hemorrhage out of nowhere. After that, the house was put up for sale. A man named Robert Sandlin bought it. Only a few months later, Robert died too. And then another family bought it. Then another. Fast. One buys it, something happens, it's sold again. No one stayed. Either the owner sold it or the owner died. In 1999, a new family bought the home, the Skinner family. They were the husband, Curtis, the wife, Cheryl, and their son. His name wasn't mentioned. 2 years after moving in, Cheryl suffered a heart attack and died. 8 years later, Curtis, without warning, took his gun and ended his own life. So the pattern continued. No one stays in this house. If you live in it, you don't last long. Now, some might say, maybe it's just coincidence. But the story doesn't end there. In 2010, a woman named Brenda bought the house. She was happy, excited, because she loved it. She moved in with her son and decided to renovate the place. One day while renovating, her son was working near the ceiling boards. The boards collapsed on him. He suffered minor injuries. Brenda said, "That's it, we need a professional." So she hired a contractor. While the contractor was repairing the floor and the structure, he discovered something buried under the flooring. A human bone, buried beneath the floor. Brenda took the bone to someone she knew, a friend who was a police officer. He examined it and said, "Yes, this is human." Then he warned her, "Don't dig too much. This area is old burial ground. If you keep digging, you might find skeletons for the rest of your life." That warning terrified Brenda, but she didn't let it go. She decided to research the history of the house. During her research, Brenda contacted a previous owner. That owner told her something shocking. In the 1940s, a woman lived in that house with her teenage son and young daughter. People were afraid of this woman. Why? Because she married and divorced repeatedly, 3 husbands in total. And here's the disturbing part. All 3 husbands died in mysterious ways. Then things got worse. The young daughter disappeared suddenly, and no one ever found her. And the teenage son was said to have hanged himself without warning. When Brenda heard this, she thought immediately, what if the bone I found belongs to that missing girl? So she took the bone to the police. They tested it. They confirmed it belonged to a young child, but they could not confirm whether it was the missing daughter. After that, Brenda said strange things started happening to her. Marks appeared on her body. Scratches, 6 lines, like claw marks. She and her son began hearing strange noises in the house, knocking sounds, like something beneath the ground. The house felt wrong. Brenda stopped sleeping properly. She began thinking, will me and my son end up like the others? Even after everything she learned, she still hesitated to leave. Paranormal investigators arrive. As the story spread, the house became famous. And you know what happens when a place becomes famous for hauntings? Paranormal investigators show up. Ghost hunters. People who actively seek places others refuse to enter. The most famous of them was a man named David Spinks. David brought his team to investigate the house. From the first day, they reported strange sounds and disturbing feelings, as if something wanted them out. They left. Later, they returned for a second investigation, but this time, something happened to all of them. Severe headaches, dizziness, a heavy pressure. Not one person, all of them. So they ran out again, and they refused to continue. Brenda loved the house, so she didn't want to sell it first. She hoped investigators could solve the problem. But once she saw them run out in fear, she knew it was bigger than she thought. She refused to return. Then David Spinks, the investigator, said, "I'll buy it." He bought the house in 2019. He wrote a book about it. He also filmed a short documentary about what he found inside, and the story spread even more. After David's work became public, the children of the Skinner family came forward. They accused David of exploiting their parents' deaths to sell his book and promote his documentary. They said their mother didn't die inside the house. She died in the hospital. Their father didn't end his life because of the house. He had cancer and couldn't handle the pain. So the question became, was David revealing truth or using tragedy for fame? The truth remains disputed. But one thing is clear, this house has a dark history. Death, disappearances, rumors of buried remains, and strange events no one can fully explain. Willow's Weep is not a normal house. It feels like it's hiding something. Maybe one day, someone will uncover its secret. But until then, whatever happened there remains buried. Now I want to hear from you. How do you explain everything you heard? Do you think it's a curse, a haunted land, or just a chain of coincidences? Tell me in the comments. And with that, we've reached the end of today's story. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and don't forget to hit like. Until the next video, this was Fadi. Peace.